But I think that should be one of our mottos as a leader. I should have people fear how much they actually love me, because people will do some crazy stuff for love.
He's an interesting one. He's an interesting character to look to for leadership guidance.
But he also he dropped so many good just one-liners that you wouldn't think, because
He does. Like, someone else's happiness doesn't take away from yours. Someone else's success doesn't take away from yours. And in fact, I think when you help other people along the way, it makes it that much more rewarding. You know, it makes it that much better.
yeah, I should have went first.
Why? Don't you hide. You come back. Attitude reflects leadership.
It does. Yeah, because I can definitely count many times where I'm like, golly, what is wrong with the place right now? Take some time to evaluate. It's like, hey, how's that Taylor Swift song? It's me. Hi.
I'm the problem.
Yeah, I think, was it Wayne Gretzky or Michael Scott that said? Wayne Gretzky said it, but Michael Scott told him that he said it.
This is the Clark Connection Podcast, where 12 years of coaching championships meets real-world leadership. Coach Clark broke through at the highest levels. Now he's bringing you the playbook. Every week, real leaders, real wins. Real strategies you can use Monday morning. If you're done with theory and ready for results, this is your show. You in? Let's go!
And welcome back to the Clark Connection Podcast. Hey, I'm your host, Aaron Clark, a.k.a. The Coach. And I also want to welcome back my fabulous co-host, Caitlin Michelet.
Hi. Thanks, Coach. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, because we're switching it up a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different today.
Yeah. But before we do that, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors who make this show possible.
The Clark Connection Podcast is powered by Coach Clark Leadership and Development. At Coach Clark Leadership and Development, we help businesses, churches, schools, and organizations develop strong leaders through leadership training, executive coaching, team building, and keynote speaking. Our mission is simple: help leaders grow so their people, teams, and organizations can too. To learn more about our services, visit CoachAClark.com. This episode of the Clark Connection Podcast is proudly brought to you by Hubbard Flooring Studio. Leadership, growth, and success all start with a strong foundation. And that's exactly what you'll find at Hubbard Flooring Studio. Vicki and her team help homeowners and businesses create spaces that combine quality, craftsmanship, and style. Whether you're updating a single room, remodeling your entire home, or finishing a new construction project, Hubbard Flooring Studio offers flooring solutions and custom blinds designed to bring both beauty and functionality to your space. If you're ready to work with a team that takes pride in getting the details right, visit hubbardflooringstudio.com or call 225-924-1582. Shout out to Steadfast Electric for supporting the show. With hurricane season here, now is the time to think about protecting your home and family. BJ and his team specialize in whole home generators that keep your lights on, your food cold, and your household running when the power goes out. Learn more at steadfastelectric.com or call 225-364-9218. I want to recognize Bobby with the Comfy Quest LLC for sponsoring the podcast. Bobby specializes in craniosacral therapy, a highly specialized form of bodywork. This work helps the body release deep tension, regulate the nervous system, and truly reset. To learn more or book a session, visit massagebook.com/acomfyquest or call 225-773-0307. A Comfy Quest, specialized craniosacral therapy for a real nervous system reset. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Bob Smith, chiropractic internist, for sponsoring today's episode. Dr. Bob focuses on identifying the root cause of pain and dysfunction, not just covering up symptoms. If your body isn't performing the way it should, This is the kind of care that looks deeper. Learn more at brspine.com or call 225-291-2626. Dr. Bob Smith, finding the root cause, not just chasing symptoms. A big thanks to Automate Integrate Professional Services for backing the show. Andrew helps businesses simplify, automate, and integrate their systems so leaders stop wasting time on manual work and start focusing on growth. Visit automate-integrate.com or email Andrew at automate-integrate.com. Automate Integrate, systems that work so you don't have to overwork. Thanks once again, guys, that without you, this show would not be possible.
Yep. So for this episode, we each brought 5 movie or TV show quotes that really stuck with us.
And not just quotes we like, but like
Right.
ones that actually mean something.
Yeah, the ones that kind of make you stop and think or carry with you, maybe even without even realizing it.
And we hadn't shared these with each other yet.
Yeah. So this is real reactions. We're hearing these quotes for the first time, breaking them down, talking about why they resonated with us, what they taught us,
and how they actually show up in our lives.
Yeah, some might be deep, some might be simple or funny, or some might just hit at the right time.
But all of them stuck for a reason.
Yeah. So let's get into it.
All right, Caitlin. So we're going to go through, give everybody our top 5 movie quotes and how they relate to leadership. Give us your number 5.
All right. So number 5 is from Legally Blonde, one of my favorite movies. And it's from her speech at the end of the movie where she graduates from Harvard Law. She says, this is Elle Woods. She says, "It is with passion, courage of conviction, and a strong sense of self that we take our next steps into the world. You must always have faith in people, and most importantly, you must always have faith in yourself." And that just hits for me. I mean, it's, as a growing girl, seeing that movie and I really related to that. I was like, yes, Elle, you're so right.
Oh, what about it hits? Like, why, when you say it hits, why does that hit though?
I love everything that she mentions. Passion, courage of conviction. I mean, that's just, and a strong sense of self. And, the whole movie, she's, it starts out with her kind of trying to change herself to win back, the guy that she thinks that she loves. And at the end of it, she finds that she actually loves practicing law. But more than that, being herself and being so strong in her self-identity and her beliefs and her passions. That's what really works for her. And she doesn't get back the guy that she wanted originally, but he didn't want her to begin with. He wanted something different.
Right.
But yeah, it's just about being yourself and having courage to, step out into the world. And beyond that, have faith in yourself.
And that's so crucial for us as leaders to know who you are. And as people in general, that we did the book breakdown, who was number 1. And when you go and you look at the 7 habits of highly effective people, Stephen Covey talks about that. Like, you have to first be comfortable with who you are. Like, from your first 3 habits, you've got to win the private victory before you can move on to the public victory and and work with other people to help them achieve what they want. You have to take care of you first. So you have to know who you are, because once you know who you are, then I can be okay with Caitlin winning. But until I'm okay with who I am, I can't be okay with helping Caitlin win.
Absolutely. all about confidence, self-belief, proving people wrong. Another honorable mention is when she gets into Harvard Law and she says, what, like it's hard? It's like, unbothered queen. I love it.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So what's yours?
My number 5. Well, as the sales manager and having been in sales all my life, which I believe everybody's in sales, even when you try to tell me you aren't in sales and don't like sales, you're selling me that you, yeah. Anyways, so mine comes from Dumb and Dumber. And so Lloyd is trying to pick up on this very attractive supermodel while he is in his super fine orange suit. And so he walks up to her and he's like, so what's the chances of us getting together later? And she very, pompous and comes back and says, 1 in a million. And he looks down and goes, so you're saying there's a chance? And, confidence being key right there. I mean, most people heard 1 in a million, like, dang, I don't have a chance at all. But
yeah.
He heard, hold up. She said 1 in a million. It doesn't mean that it's going to take a million tries. It could be try number 10. And who cares at that point?
Could get lucky.
It's like the shoe salesman. They show up in a country where they don't wear shoes. One says, hey, cancel the order. And the other one calls and says, hey, double the order. Ain't nobody wearing shoes. We're going to corner the market. So.
But what would make it, the chances would be 0 is if he didn't even try.
Bingo.
Right?
Yes. And that's why
you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
I think, was it Wayne Gretzky or Michael Scott that said, Wayne Gretzky said it, but Michael Scott told him that he said it. Yeah. And it's so true. It's like my dad always told me that if you never ask, the answer's no. So what do you have to lose? If I go ask and you say no, didn't have it before, but you might say yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right.
Ready for round 2?
Round 2.
Ding, ding,
yes.
Ding. Okay. So next movie is Remember the Titans.
Ooh. Right. Yeah.
Such a fantastic movie in every way.
I say, why are you smiling?
So
football's fun? No fun, sir.
No, sir. No fun, sir.
So let me tell you why football is fun.
Oh, I love it.
Movie.
I love it.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah. So it was a lot, it was hard to choose one quote, but the one that sticks with me is attitude reflects leadership, Captain. I know. It's so short and simple and sweet, but I know. Don't you hide. You come back. Attitude reflects leadership.
It does.
Yeah. So it just turns the finger, back on you as the leader. And, you talk about culture a good bit on your interviews and podcasts and, where does that culture and that attitude ultimately stem from? That's the leader.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, that's one I tell a lot of people is defend your culture. Whatever you do, defend your culture. I don't care how good the salesperson is or the finance person or the secretary or fill in the blank. If they are ruining the culture, they got to go. But what's one that I found? That if I, the leader, am positive and upbeat, my team tends to do that. So if you find that you're running across a lot of negative people and that bad stuff is happening, take a look in the mirror.
Yep. That energy trickles down.
Yeah, because I can definitely count many times where I'm like, golly, what is wrong with the place right now? And take some time to evaluate. And it's like, how's that a Taylor?
It's
Yep,
me.
I'll say, how's that Taylor Swift song? It's me. Hi.
I'm the problem. It's me. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So my number 4 that comes from Lone Survivor. Great movie. If you hadn't watched it, I mean, it's got Marky Mark in it. How can it be a bad movie? It's almost like saying that a Denzel movie's bad. Like, is there such thing as a Denzel Washington bad movie?
No such thing.
No. Even if he's a cameo in it, it's now a great movie. It's not possible. But in there, they talk often, one of the part of the creeds for a Navy SEAL is find an excuse to win. And, they're matched up. If you hadn't seen the movie, they're matched up. They're caught up on a hill that they were on a scouting mission that they typically move in teams of 4 when they're going out on scouting missions. And they got discovered and caught up. And I mean, they go through and take out something stupid like 300 people in the process. So 4 SEALs that takes out that 300 that just trying to escape. Like they're just trying now to get out. Like stuff went bad. It went sideways. And that was the first thing whenever it happened that they said, look, we're going to find an excuse to win. And I mean, how many people would have gave up like, oh, there's 300 of them and there's 4 of us. You know what? Because there was no surrender option. They were going to kill them one way or the other. Like they were spies. That's what you do to spies. So, I mean, the fact that 1 made it out is phenomenal. They found an excuse to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's powerful.
If you're getting value from today's episode, take a second to like, follow, and subscribe to the Clark Connection podcast so you'll never miss a future conversation on leadership, growth, and success. Let's dive back into today's topic.
Man. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one.
No, let's move on.
I know we're kind of switching gears now for round 3. I guess this.
Yeah, this is number 3.
Yeah,
round 3
would be my number 3. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So not a movie, but one of my favorite shows of all time, Friends. This quote really sticks with me, and it's really relevant in the beginning.
I think I know what you're going to say too.
Yeah. The beginning, like process, the transition into leadership is so difficult. And it's when Chandler gets promoted.
I knew it.
Yeah. When Chandler gets promoted and he finds out from Phoebe that the rest of the employees don't like him. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah, they don't like you. You didn't know that? And he's like, nuh-uh. And then he tries to be like the fun boss, Mr. Bossman Bing. I'm your buddy, Bossman Bing. And she's like, no, they still don't like you. And she said, the quote that Phoebe says is, they still say you're a great boss, but they're not your friends anymore. And it makes Chandler sad, but eventually he leans into it and he's like, okay, I've got other friends, and I've decided that I'm going to be a leader and I'm going to be boss man Bing. So that's okay. If that's how it is, then that's how it is. So that really resonated with me and stuck with me. And I had to kind of remind myself of that a lot in my transition to leadership. You're not their friends.
It's a tough one. It doesn't mean that you can't be friendly with them. And it doesn't mean that you can't get to know them.
Oh, and that's extremely important that you do get to know them as people and, as individuals. But
they're probably not going to be your friends, and it's okay.
They're not your buddies.
You could be friends with me. I'll be your friend.
And that's okay.
I'll be there for you.
With professional boundaries.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the other leaders on the call, not the employees. the other
Oh,
leaders on the
sorry.
call, we can be friends.
Okay.
So speaking of, if you just go follow me on social media, that's the quickest way for us to be friends. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, go there. All right. So mine are words of wisdom from one of the wisest captains there ever was, or worst pirates. I'm not sure which it would be, but it comes from Captain Jack Sparrow. And he says that a man needs to know what he can do and what he can't do. And so in this line, he's got Will hanging on to the mast of the boat, hanging over the ocean. And he's like, for instance, I can let you drown, but I can't bring this ship into dock all by myself. And so he brings him back in and was like, can you be okay with the captain of a pirate? And that's one I use a lot with people. It's like, no, you need to know what you can do and you can't do. Like, yes, you can fire your entire staff, as I'm working with clients. But I was like, but can you run your business all by yourself right now? And if that answer is no, you can't fire everybody.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one. It's funny that you bring up that movie because I just watched it recently the other day, and yeah, that's a good one. Cinematic genius. But man, Captain Jack Sparrow, he's an interesting one. He's an interesting character to look to for leadership guidance.
He also he drops so many good just one-liners that you wouldn't think.
He does.
He's like drunk all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, golly, I drew a blank on which one I was going to say. Oh yeah. That because everybody's like, when he shows up, keeps showing back up, they're like, it's not possible. He's like, probable. Yeah. It's not probable because I am here.
Probable. Right. Right. Yeah.
And we do that too. This is impossible. Well, no, it's improbable. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Number 2. So we're down.
Okay.
So round 4, there are 2 slots.
Okay. Number 2. I think the next one that I'll do is from Mean Girls. All right. So again, another cinema genius of a movie. Classic. It really is. It really is. It's timeless. And oh my gosh, so many, of course, just quotable lines from the movie. I mean, that's basically the millennials' language. But the quote that I want to highlight is from the end of the movie when Katie Heron is talking about how she basically ruined Regina George's life. And she says, calling somebody else fat won't make you any skinnier. Calling someone stupid doesn't make you any smarter. She says, ruining Regina George's life didn't make my life any better. All you can do in life is try to solve the problem in front of you. So I like that because it's just a reminder that we can all win. We can all, there's room in this world for everybody to win and for everybody to be happy. Someone else's happiness doesn't take away from yours. Someone else's success doesn't take away from yours. And in fact, I think when you help other people, or, at least try your best to do so, help other people up along the way, it makes it that much more rewarding, it makes it that much better.
Yeah, I should have went first.
So. Why? You're going to come back and just undo everything, all my wisdom?
No, because my number 2 quote is, from one of the greatest philosophizers ever in Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last.
Well, that's true too. There can only be one, I guess. I guess in a competition, there can only be one winner, but
And
different context.
But that's why I was like, oh my gosh, because we did not go through these guys. Like I didn't know what she was going to say. And so as she's saying this, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so true. And then I was like, let me see and I'm like, no. This couldn't have come at the,
if you're not first,
I should have went first. But and for me, it's not saying like, I think what you had said with, there's room for everybody, calling somebody fat doesn't make you skinny or stupid, doesn't make you smart. Bringing somebody down is not going to elevate you. And if you have to bring people down, you're not a leader. Quite honestly, you're a loser if you're bringing people down. There's room at the top. It takes a very small person to tear down. It takes a big person to build up. And so when I say if you're not first, you're last, it's not that, hey, you can't win with other people. It's the attitude, and kind of goes back to almost that mentality of find an excuse to win. Find a reason to win where you're at right now. Do whatever it takes to win, to go above and beyond to do that. So it's to me, that's a very good quote. And I use it all the time. If you ain't first, you're last, because I want to win. I want to win, but not at the cost of you. A quick thank you to our premium sponsor, Hubbard Flooring Studio. Whether you're upgrading your floors, refreshing a room, or adding custom blinds to complete the look, Vicky and her team are committed to quality workmanship and exceptional service. Learn more at hubbardflooringstudio.com or call 225-924-1582. Let's get back to building better leaders.
Absolutely.
All right. And then our number one.
Number one quote. Okay. So it's from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So that's the second installment. And it comes from Dumbledore, of course. He's just the wisest of them all. But he tells Harry at the end of the movie that it is not our abilities that show what we truly are. It is our choices. So Harry's talking to him about, I feel like I should be in Slytherin, and basically for anyone who's from another planet and hasn't seen Harry Potter, he's worried that he's going to be evil or be like Lord Voldemort and things like that. And the Sorting Hat put him in Gryffindor instead of Slytherin because Harry was begging the hat not to put him in Slytherin because he didn't want to turn evil. And so the hat did, so he put him in Gryffindor.
Well, he saw what, Malfoy, who he's known all for a train ride, how he was, and like, I don't want to be like that guy. And if that's where that guy is, I'm going to go over here. So it goes, even though I know that wasn't the purpose, but he was like, hey, I don't want to be like him. I don't want to, that you become the sum of the top 5 people that you're around, not who you consider your friends. It's who you're around. Man.
So he says, just not anything but Gryffindor or anything but Slytherin. Please no, anything but Slytherin. And so he gets put in Gryffindor. But then, sees some similarities between him and Lord Voldemort and things like that. And that's when Dumbledore says, there are some similarities, but it's not your qualities or your abilities. And it made me think of like, it's not what happens to you or around you that determines who you are. It's your choices. I was just having this conversation yesterday, because my family was telling me that I got lucky with such a great husband, and that he's such a great father. And they said, you got so lucky. He really is. But they were like, you're lucky. You got lucky with that. You lucked out with that one. And I told them right away, and I told Justin this afterwards, but I said, I was very intentional about who I picked, who I chose as my husband and the father of my children. It had nothing to do with luck. And I think that's two different mindsets. We talk about you are the product of the choices and decisions that you make every single day. You and your life are products of those choices and decisions.
And that comes from your thoughts. So, it all starts in the brain. It all starts up here.
Yes.
So, yeah. Say that quote one more time, though. I want to hear that one again.
Yeah. So it is, it's not our abilities that show who we truly are. It is our choices.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. What's yours?
So my number one that I love, that comes from I left my mug, world's best boss, or the self-proclaimed, because he is anything but the world's best boss. Which comes from Michael Scott, and it's actually very early. I can't remember. It's like episode 1 or episode 2. It's very early in the series. And he asked he's talking to the camera, and he goes, would I rather be feared or loved? That's simple. I want people to fear how much they love me. And Michael's context was like, I've got to be friendly and funny so everybody will love me. And so if I'm funny and friendly, everybody will love me, and I'm seen as the cool boss and don't make people do silly things or whatever. That's what love equates to. And it's the exact opposite of what's true. But I think that should be one of our mottos as a leader. I should have people fear how much they actually love me, because people will do some crazy stuff for love. Wars are started over love. I mean, that's why the majority of them start. People go to war not because they hate the enemy, but because they love the people back home. As a boss, I hate it when I hear people say they may not like me, but they'll respect me. And I want to add in after that, as long as you're in their presence. Because the second you leave, if that's your motto, they're going to go back to doing whatever it was they were doing, and they're going to wait for you to come back before they start working again. If they love you, they're going to go to work, and they're going to do it that you've asked them to do, because you've asked them to do it, and because you are investing in them. And so this goes back to, what was the one you said with Boss Bean? They're like, they're not
Chandler from
they're
Friends.
Not my friends anymore. No, they're not. But you can show them that you care. You can help them to become better people. You can still know their hopes, their dreams, their goals. I was talking with another boss like the other day. I said, well, what is that person's end result? Like, what do they want to do in life? And they said, well, I don't know. And I went, well, go figure that out. How are you going to motivate them if you don't know what they want? Like, yeah, they're struggling because you don't know what they want. And so knowing what is the ultimate end result, I mean, we talked about that all the time early on. What is your end result? What do you want? What do you want to accomplish? How do I help you accomplish that? And I talked about that with every single person. I talk about that with every single client. I had one finally tell me, hey, I'm in a leadership role where I'm at, but I want to start my own business. Great. Could you start your own business right now? And they went, oh no, I'm not ready for that. Perfect. So how do we start taking those steps? Now that I know what the ultimate end result is, let's start making those steps. And how do I help you get there? But that should be our goal as bosses, as the leader of the team, the organization, whatever it is. I don't want to trap people here. I want to create, and their boss has done a phenomenal job at that, and that they want to, hey, I've got to have somebody to replace me before I leave. Okay, cool. So let's start working on that too. And it gives us something to look forward, instead of just, oh, you come in, you punch the clock, whatever.
Absolutely.
The Clark Connection podcast is powered by Coach Clark Leadership and Development. We believe everything rises and falls on leadership. That's why we help organizations develop leaders who create positive influence, drive results, and multiply impact through leadership training, executive coaching, consulting, and keynote speaking. To learn more about how we can help serve your team or organization, visit CoachAClark.com.
Love those.
Yes, those were some good ones. Yeah, I think everybody, go watch Lone Survivor. I know that's one not a lot of people have seen. It's really good. I like how you were like really getting words of wisdom from Jack Sparrow. But I mean, there really was just some brilliance in the stuff that he says and does. Because you can see it. He was very often conflicted with, oh, darn, I'm supposed to be a pirate right now, but I actually care for Will and Elizabeth, and hopefully they don't hate me for this. I'm going to do this anyways. But you could see the wheels spinning up there.
Yeah.
And even with some of the episodes that you were talking about or shows, you could see that often. I never remember their names, but with Lindsay Lohan's character, you could see how conflicted she was. That oftentimes with doing the stuff that to all the other girls, and like, I'm tearing people down. I really shouldn't be doing this. I know how this feels.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey, like we talked about Legally Blonde, where it starts, she's trying to get the guy back, and I'll just become whoever I need to become to get Warner back, and then at the end of it, the kind of turning point at the movie, or in the movie, I would say, is when she steps back and she looks at Warner and she says, I'm never going to be good enough for you, am I? And she says, I'll show you how valuable Elle Woods can be. And she just gets to work and then finds a lot more value, and self-worth when she's doing it for herself and not for him.
Right. Well, and then she found her style. She found what works. It's one that I think, I don't remember who said it, but to be somebody else is a waste, or try to be somebody else is a waste of you and who you are. And if somebody doesn't find value in you, move on. It's not that big a deal. It's what we should do is try to be ourselves, and then we can then create the best version. Once we create the best version of ourselves, it all goes back to, like we talked about, master the private victory, then go after the public victory. And that was that is a really good one for that. Man, I was trying to think if there was anything else that we wanted to add in there. Anything else before we look to close it out?
No, I think this was fun, just the back and forth and talking about it. It was a little difficult for me because I am not a movie watcher. I haven't seen a lot of shows. Don't like to watch a lot of movies. So I really had to go back into the catalog. But I wanted to choose movies that resonated with me. And then also, those big important quotes and things like that made a difference. So I'm curious because we've got a list of inspiring movies, a lot of them that you want me to watch. But I'm curious if some of the viewers maybe have some suggestions of movies or TV shows that that might resonate or that they recommend. Anything that's inspiring or has to do with leadership or personal growth and that whole journey.
It's kind of crazy how something as simple as a line from a movie or a show can stick with you like that.
Yeah, and how it can shape the way you think or the way you show up without you even realizing it at first.
And I think everyone has those quotes or moments that just hit at the right time.
Yeah, that just stay with you for sure. So if you're listening, think about it. We want to know, what's a quote that stuck with you or changed the way that you see something?
And we might have to do a part 2 and bring some of those in.
Yeah, I like that.
But for now, that's all we got.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to the Clark Connection podcast.
And remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So keep leading, keep learning, keep connecting, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Clark Connection podcast.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Clark Connection podcast. If today's episode added value to you, do me a favor, follow the show and share it with someone who needs it. You can connect with me at my website, coachaclark.com, or on social media at Coach A. Clark. All the links are in the description. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and keep connecting.